Hi there, this is Pammy Joe here back on YouTube after a few months of challenges at home. I would like to talk about desolation versus blessedness. There is a big difference between those two. On the one hand, you know that you are eternal, that you have a soul, or you suspect you might, or you feel like there's something more out there and you have searched for it, but you might think people who embrace certain religions are foolish, especially since they hurt each other and fight over those religions. So I'm not talking about religion practices. I'm not talking about books that tell you to kill your neighbor. I am talking about a belief that there's something higher, something more than what we see, because we've seen things, or we've felt things, or we've suspected things that we couldn't explain, or seen coincidences that were just too much for us to write off. We can, and we do, and we can ridicule them and make fun of them and say you're just being a fanatic, but something eats in here when we do that, and we feel sort of a guiltiness. And it's easy to make fun of people who believe in more, but it's not as easy to look for more and to be open to it. That takes courage. Because if there is no more, what are you out? Why get so upset that someone thinks there's more if you truly do not believe in a higher power? That logic makes no sense to me because I've been there. I have been an atheist, agnostic, a doubter. I've believed in science and mocked certain timetables that people teach. But something ate me up inside while I was doing that. And so I found out the reason for my bitterness and disbelief. It was because I was upset at God because my mother died when I was 22. I didn't think that anything made sense if God would let her die. And it took me 20 years of grief and pouting before I was open again to there could be an eternal being, despite everything that happens in lives and all the hardships and the losses. So I came back to Most High and I asked flat out, if you're real, tell me why Mom died. We prayed for her to be healed. We were told she would be healed. Why did she die? I'm just asking you. Because I guess the fact I'm asking you means I want to believe in you. And he said, I took her because she asked me to. And at that point, I realized that what she wanted with her life, and it wasn't suicide, it was a cessation of suffering on earth. She wanted to be with him. She wanted to be happy. She wanted to walk bright flowered paths with God's Son, smiling. She wanted to see her lost loved ones again. He took her because her request was more heartfelt and needed than our request to keep her here. And after she left, I realized what she went through and why she was so tired of it all. Because then it fell on me. I had to get off my butt and learn things. I had to learn to cook. I need to learn to be responsible without resentment. I needed to have children I didn't want to have. God had to set up a circumstance that would force me into what I really wanted and didn't know I wanted, because my reasons for not wanting children or not wanting this had to do with what happened to me. Things that happened to me that I didn't process well. I didn't adapt to well. I didn't get the best and the most good out of. Instead, I lashed out at God and I lashed out at others and I avoided people. So, you have two paths, two options. One is to cause desolation for those around you and yourself, and one is to be blessed by God. The way to be blessed by God, though, the way to do that is to be you, the real you, not this bitter, I won't process anything, I'm a big baby, why do hard things happen to me, victimhood. You're not going to be blessed, if you hang on to that. You will be forgiven if you don't know how to lose it, but you want to. There is forgiveness, healing, teaching, coaching. I'm one of those leaders who uplifts you and other leaders who want to help you. But I'm also here to announce a desolation that causes desecration on earth that's talked about in the book of Daniel. And Jesus also mentions it. But I asked God first, who am I to teach this? And he said, and this was 10 days ago, 11 days ago. I said, who am I? And he said, you are a servant of Yahweh who bears the word of God. You do as instructed and are allowed access to plans or goals. You understand the flaw of rebelling and accusing and despise it. You are trusted, you listen and understand, you perceive things. The only flaw you have is underestimating your influence and power that is delegated willingly to you. For a long time, you have underestimated my desire to work with and be with you. I'm telling you, Most High corrected me factually. And I did not get upset. I appreciated it because I want to know what I'm not doing to be really me so I can do it. All right. To those who are blessed, listen to what God says to you. This is in Isaiah 51. I alone, verse 12, am the one who comforts you. Why then are you afraid of mortals who must die, of humans who are like grass? Why have you forgotten Yahweh, your creator? He stretched out the heavens, laid the foundations of the earth. Why should you live in constant fear of the fury of those who oppress you, of those who are ready to destroy you? Where is the fury of those who oppress you? And it's like Jesus said to the adulterous woman who got corrected. He told her to sin no more, but he said, woman, where are your accusers? When he told those who were perfect to cast the first stone. Chained prisoners will be set free. They will not die in prison. They will not go without food. And he is talking about you. I am Yahweh your Elohim, who stirs up the sea, makes its waves roar. My name is Yahweh Sabaoth. I say as Sava, the Almighty One, the Sovereign One, the Lord of Hosts. I put my words in your mouth, I sheltered you in the palm of my hand. I stretched out the heavens, laid the foundation of the earth, and said to Zion, you are my people. Zion is anyone who embraces God's Son and the Almighty and knows that there is something more out there. Something that doesn't require us to desolate our neighbor to be okay with ourselves. So, who are blessed? Who are the blessed? Yeshua, Jesus said it to the crowds on the Sermon on the Mount, or Beatitude. And Beatitude is supreme blessedness. It means it comes from God. God is saying, if you have these characteristics, you're blessed. You are in his book as someone he will trust. Blessed are those who recognize they're spiritually helpless. The kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Blessed are those who mourn, they will be comforted. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for God's approval, they will be satisfied. He will approve of you if you request it. Blessed are those who show mercy, they will be treated mercifully. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for doing what God approves of. The kingdom of heaven belongs to them. And blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, lie, and say all kinds of evil things about you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because you have a great reward in heaven. The prophets who lived before you were persecuted in these ways. Now he lists more in Psalms and Proverbs. But in Daniel, there's a very important blessed in the end times. Before I read that, I want to talk about the desecration that causes desolation that's talked about in Daniel, and it's talked about in the New Testament by Jesus. I have a comment, and I wrote this on Facebook, about composting bodies, a law about to be signed in a nearby state. It sucks. Ever watch the movie Soylent Green or The Matrix? How about Ezekiel Manuel's healthcare philosophy? Decide the most economical way to keep humans alive, then get rid of what does not suit your economic power structure or political agenda. If citizens don't vote the way you've brainwashed them to vote, import some who will and bulldoze the current batch of citizens so you can meet your evil agenda. What is the evil agenda? Desolating humans to benefit someone insecure who wants to control the earth. That's what desolation that desecrates is. Instead of uplifting souls, encouraging health, and helping human beings, species that are on the earth, they want to control and, if necessary, destroy and eliminate those who don't suit their purpose, their agenda. This law is to recycle human bodies to save the environment. They are going to compost them and feed them back to other humans. This is a desolation of the human body. Desecrating a temple and abolishing the daily sacrifice. These bodies are temples of God's eternal spirit. After they are gone, they return to the dust, but desecrating former temples of God's life and killing ones before they get a chance to be alive on earth are steps toward deciding who is to be a human soul and who still deserves to be. It is playing God. That's the desecration. And in the end times, a person who looked human in Daniel 12 said, "At that time, Michael the great commander will stand up on behalf of the descendants of your people. It will be a time of trouble unlike any that existed from the time there have been nations until that time. But at that time, your people, everyone written in the book, will be rescued. The blessed will be rescued, rest assured. Many sleeping in the ground will wake up." And that's why desecrating their bodies so that they can't wake up. God can reconstitute them, but you're trying to take that away from them. Pigs will eat other pigs. Humans will not. Because we recognize that that was a temple of the Spirit. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness on the horizon. Those who lead many people to righteousness will shine like the stars forever and ever. Daniel was told to keep these words secret until the end times. But many will travel everywhere and knowledge will grow. Then he saw two men, and one dressed in linen said, he raised his right and left hand to heaven and swore an oath by one who lives forever. He said, "It will be for a times and half a time. When the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, then all these things will be finished." And Daniel asked him how these things will end. And he said they're sealed until the end times. Many will be purified, made white, and refined. But wicked people will do wicked things, and none of them will understand. Only wise people will understand. From the time of the daily burnt offering is taken away, which is the hearts of those who love God being discouraged, told that they can't worship him, and being threatened with beheadings or marks. And the disgusting thing that causes destruction is set up will be 1,290 days. Blessed are those who wait until they reach 1,335 days. Either you want to help your fellow man and souls, or you want to destroy them and use them. There's no in between now.